What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dorkatronprime. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a Hexeblaumon deck profile that topped at Knowwhere locals. Go ahead, Nolan. You can share it with your profile.
So obviously this is a Hexeblaumon deck. You're obviously going to run 4 Hexeblaumons. I like to run a Yeovani side within the Hexeblaumon because obviously Yeovani can piggyback off of you running Sora and Joe to restand himself, and you gain a ton of memory. For the top end, I'm deciding to run 2 Omnimons and 1 X antibody. A lot of people don't like running X antibody because it is a little bit slow, but I do find that it really helps with those slow, grindy matchups where you just need to get as much value as you can, like against green or against blue mirror. For your ultimates, you're obviously going to run 4 Crisp Hexeblaumon. That's standard. You want to be able to just swing out with Hexeblaumon or even Yeovani sometimes, because it's a little bit tricky to swing with Yeovani. Obviously, you want to go for Hexeblaumon if you can in the early matchups. And also 2 Wear Garurumons, also just piggyback off of the security attack +1 when they have no sources. And then 2 Arrow Digimons for the matchups where Hexeblaumon will just die if you leave him out there against Crusadermon or even Shoutmon. So you just want to get like as much value as possible. I'm running 4 Quellamon, that's standard. But I'm mixing up it. I'm not running any Pilgrimons because I feel like he just dies too easily in this meta if you take him out of the raising area. So I'm running 2 Kakumons to help support the Yeovani, since you can tap the sword Dose or remove 2 swords from a blocker and they can no longer block you. So it's a very similar dynamic with Hexeblaumon and Yeovani on that. Tobirumon to help accelerate your Hexeblaumons. I'm running 2 Digimons. This is also a bit unstandard for people because he digivolves for 3. I find that in a lot of matchups, the inheritable of +1000 on the Hexeblaumon makes him a lot more harder to just beat over. You have to actually crash into him in a lot more matchups. Like, if you're taking like all the inheritables off of green, they're just sitting on a 5, they did evolve to a 6. A lot of greens are 12, so they actually have to crash into your Hexeblaumon and sacrifice their own Digimon. Also running 2 Lobomons, that's also pretty standard. Just being able to digivolve onto your Soras and Joes just for a surprise lethal is always just great to have. You just swing for a game with Lobomon, it's too easy. Then for the rookies, running 3 Alepmons just for the turbo, just for the hard play him. 4 Gomamons and 4 Gulukamon, that's pretty standard. And then I round it off with 2 Gabumons just for like the early draws. I'm also running 4 Sora Joes. You can run 3 if you're not running any Yeovani, but I'm running 4 just so I can make sure that Yeovani can unsuspend himself and you can gain 2 memory just for swinging with 1 Digimon. Running 2 Absolute Blast. Absolute Blast is it's pretty standard. With both Yeovani and Hexeblaumon being able to use Sora and Joe to take off Digivolution sources from Digimon, Absolute Blast should always have a chance to shine, just pop off and take out either like a Crusadermon or a Reflagiamon if it's just sitting out there in the open. It's also really good against security control because they're always just hard playing Digimon, or even though like if they do Digivolve, it's still just going to be 1 source. They pass you back a ton of memory, so you just Absolute Blast is sometimes still even your turn. You can just still hard play something yourself. I'm playing 2 Hammer Sparks simply because this deck has a lot of memory gain. You don't necessarily need the Hammer Sparks as much as you would in other blue variants where they don't have the Gomamons and Gulukamons to be standard enough just to give you 1 memory just every turn just from trashing a whole bunch of Digivolution sources. Also, like, running 4 Hammer Sparks has always bricked me a lot, so I just never really felt good once like I draw my opening hand, there's 2 Hammer Sparks in there, 1 Ricky, and 2 Ultimates, so you can't really get anywhere with that. The eggs, you're just going to see an Upamon. 4 Upamon is very standard, just get draw, get a bunch of tempo, and I'm running 1 Demi Vmon since Hexeblaumon gets jamming a lot. But you could also choose to use that other egg where you can, when you attack, you trash off of a champion, a level 4. So anyway, like usually the game plan, you're just going to want to sit on Hexeblaumon. Like you just in the quick matchups against like Crusadermon or even Shoutmon, tempoing up to Hexeblaumon, they can just stall the game out really easily. And if they choose to hard drop anything, Chris Pilgemons or Garurumons are just going to be able to chip at their security with jamming. And even like, if it's really early onto the game, if you drop an X antibody onto the board, you just shut down the game. It's really good.
All right, Nolan, thank you so much for your time. Very excellent deck profile, and thank you guys for watching. Remember, we brick by nature.